Feel that sexy voice by now. I'm actually going to kick it right back to you. You got to play Blossom Tales The Sleeping King. Is that correct?
Yeah, Blossom Tales for the Sleeping King. It's a game that's available on PC and on Switch. I played it on Nintendo Switch.
Crazy about the Switch. And Adam's been apparently hitting you up for requests. He's looking to sell his soul. You got a Switch, right?
I did.
How you liking it so far?
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going for sure. I'm so apprehensive to start certain games because I don't want to lose my soul and my life to it. You know what I mean?
What do you got? What are you into now?
I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart, and I just started Zelda, so I know I'm done.
Zelda's
Sooner than later.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you still on the Great Plateau, or did you get off the Great Plateau?
I'm still there. Yeah.
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's screwed.
Once you hop off of that thing, that's it.
That's liquid visual crack for the next 2 months.
Exactly.
The rest of the world
So
you see, that's just the great abyss. You're going to disappear into there.
I just watch random videos of the Fountain Fairies. I'm good. That's all.
You're fixed that way.
That's how I get down.
Fair enough.
I would just like to point out I did not mention the Z
Fountain
word.
Fairies.
I did not mention the Z word.
You're not done yet, my friend.
I'm not done
please.
yet. So, Blossom Tales is this action adventure dungeoneering game that has a very retro take on it. It's essentially sprite-based, 2D, top-down, slightly bird's-eye perspective, where you're controlling this.
Only one edge there. It's top down. It's 2D. It's this, that. It's
You have a
Heart Racer. It's,
yeah.
Action JRPG.
Whoa.
Action JRKR RPG. Retro.
Not so much J. No,
not so much J.
It's not very Japanese.
So it's a platforming
No
roguelike.
No. So
chess game.
You're playing as this girl who I guess it's her first day on the job of joining the King's Knights, the special knights, and you're one of the new recruits. And during this ceremony, the brother of the king decides that he's fed up and he wants to just become the king now. So he puts his king brother to he curses him, puts him to sleep, and he pronounces himself king. But then he doesn't stay at the castle; he goes somewhere else.
I do it. Got a place to be,
which is weird. And
I'll run y'all
like Donald Trump.
I know,
I'm gonna stay in the tower.
I'm gonna go
stay in the White
Mar-a-Lago
House.
for the weekend. Call me there.
I'm president. I'm gonna stay over here.
And you're tasked with it's sort of like the rest of the knights that are part of this group, the more elite ones. They're searching for a way to sort of reawaken the king, and there are these three wise men that know how to reawaken him, and they sort of task the knighthood or whatever in order to do that. And since you are one of the new recruits, you want to participate and help, and you decide to take it upon yourself because you are witnessing the lack of courage with the other fellow crew member or knight members or whatever recruits, and you rise to the occasion just by playing the game out and end up getting the ingredients needed to reawaken your sleeping king.
I like that. It's like, okay, what? The rest of y'all cowards, you jive suckers, you can't handle this. Come on, step up to a dragon or something. Come at me, bro. And he steps on you.
Yeah. So for gameplay, this is really a exploration, action, and dungeon-based puzzle-solving style game. It's also an open world game where
also a cooking simulator. It's also a courtroom drama.
Right.
Proper terms on it.
So open world in the aspect of what a 2D open world game would be back on the Super Nintendo days. So it's kind of it is limited. It's not as big and expansive as you think it is. It's actually pretty densely compact. You're moving from one screen to another screen, and within the screen of the environment that you're in, there'll be enemies, and there'll be like bushes and grass that you can chop down, and there might be some gold speckled about here and there, and there's definitely going to be enemies around.
It's not just like I travel till I come across a random battle. There's things to do.
There's things to do along the way as you're going to these three main dungeons. that you need to sort of get through in order to get the ingredients.
Now, are the enemies generic? Like, are they generic in the sense of AI? I guess you want to say it as such, because most games like that they'll have enemies that reflect the area that you're in. Say you're in a woodly area, so you have like a woodly creature, but essentially it would be the same creature that you're fighting like on any other aspect.
Yeah.
Please tell me when the woods they're called woodly creatures. You've come across a woodly creature.
Well, they're druids, but they've been tainted and corrupted.
Tainted and corrupted.
Tainted and corrupted by the evil king, the evil self-proclaimed
Who decided
king.
to go to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend.
Yeah, for whatever reason now he's just like throwing his like evil
He's playing
minions
golf
everywhere.
for the 50th time this month.
But you do get your run-of-the-mill enemies. You'll get your skeletons. You'll get your evil flying wizards. Your jumping and leaping, flaming flames.
Climbing trees.
You'll get like very angry trees that you have to throw bombs at over and over and over again, and then they eventually.
It's games like this
turn
that started
happy.
my lifelong fixation with just chopping down bushes looking for gold.
Yep.
Like if I just hit this thing, there'll be money
Where
under
are
it.
my rupees?
A generation of disappointed carpenters everywhere.
Exactly. Stupid profession.
All right, so we're getting a lot of the technical stuff,
Yep.
man. How was your experience playing this? Jazz, what's going on?
I was definitely looking forward to it. When you look at this game, look at the screenshots, look at the videos, you kind of get a very specific vibe, and the game is going for that very specific vibe all the way. It's all in. If this game, the developers were sort of like a poker player, and they're like, oh, we want to make this type of game, and they had all their chips in front of them, instead of like saying, oh, we want a little bit of our gameplay in this game, a little bit of our gameplay is going to be based on this game. Now they just took all of their chips and saw a game and went, we're all in. And
If you like that one enough,
if you like
buy
that
this
one,
yeah. If
then,
you like,
then you'll like this one.
That's not a bad thing sometimes. I remember when Knockout Kings came out, and there was like 40 different boxing games that followed a similar platform because they changed it. Eventually, that became what was it? Fight Night. Fight Night series, and they actually revolutionized that gaming system, all from a series of clone games. So you think this might have some agenda? Maybe we're gonna redesign, and then we're gonna revolutionize this style of gameplay.
It seems like it's going backwards, like trying to like capture that early stuff.
Yeah, or is it going backwards and
it's
like
definitely
going for retro?
It's definitely backwards. It doesn't add anything new to what you have. If you've been playing video games since the Super Nintendo era or earlier, everything that this game throws at you, it throws at you harder, expecting you to be a more seasoned sort of gamer. Okay. And because of that, you're going to be very familiar. So it's definitely hitting on the nostalgia factor, right? Leaping skeletons and fireballs shooting at you, they have to dodge or block with your shield, and then there will be pots around. You can sort of lift up the pot and throw it at enemies if you want.
Don't attack the chickens. Don't attack the chickens in the game.
I can't remember if there are chickens. I haven't seen any chickens, or if there are.
The hell with the chickens.
I haven't bothered to sort of attack the chicken enough to see
John,
it.
I haven't been that frustrated playing that I haven't killed anonymous things.
You gotta attack them chickens day one, man. You know why? Because you'll find an Easter egg where it'd be like Tekken. Chicken. No. I was asking if they do that right then, because you get games like Super Meat Boy, which followed a very well established format, but was
Super what?
just ridiculous.
Super Meat Boy.
Meat Boy?
Meat.
Boy. Yeah, you're
an impossibly hard
boy
game
made
that
of
was really
meat.
well received, really good.
We're all made of meat.
No
That's
joke.
weird.
That.
Well, some of us are meat
Bleeding
popsicles,
meat.
some of us are meat boys.
Meat.
Just picture yourself without any skin.
I do. Sometimes it freaks me out.
So yeah, it tries, and in some instances it is a little successful, but in most instances it lacks a degree of polish. Kind of throughout it. One of the big things I didn't like about this game was that the pacing was pretty off. Where right from the start, I mean, I already played these styles of games. I know what to expect. I know how to navigate through them. But for anyone who is slightly unfamiliar or rusty on these styles of games, this game is hard from the very start, right? Whereas other games would start at like a 2 or a 1, and sort of work your way up. And as you sort of get more comfortable with the game, they scale the difficulty along with it. This game starts
does it provide you with a guide? Like, does it guide you through the game, or does it just say, hey, by the way, you need to go over here, figure that out?
It does give you an indicator on the map as to where you need to be, and it does sort of explain some things as minimal as possible.
Okay, good.
On how to explain things.
Find a potion. All right. Fight the Demogorgon. Welcome to level 1.
It's not so much that the difficulty is intended. It's kind of like the difficulty comes with the lack of polish and the lack of playtesting, because some of the enemies are either attacking way too often. Some of them aren't attacking enough. They're the AI, as you mentioned earlier, is very basic, where they're just either going to chase after you or like focus on you and move towards you or shoot at you, or they will randomly move throughout the level, and so you can't really predict how they're going to turn, and you just got to avoid them hitting you.
That balance is important, but also remember, Johnny, you may have just been spoiled by years of modeling over time. I'm just saying, Spirit of those NES games was, hey, trial by fire. You're in this. You're gonna learn today.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not so much that it's hard because because of that challenge. It's hard. I'm saying it's hard because the presentation of this game, it presents itself as a game for kids, as a game that will be for kids to introduce them to this genre, to this style of games, in a very kid-friendly way. Right from the story is a grandpa telling a story about this lady knight recruit to his grandkids. So,
son, back in my days, I had an adventure where from level 1 I got my ass.
So it's like the Princess Bride video game.
Yeah. So,
in a Zelda style.
Yeah, it's
RPG
in a Z style. Yeah.
Z style. I didn't say you had to like not say the word. I said like avoid
Z trigger.
Right. Okay, now that is the point we should bring to light. Because we're not the first people to review this game. The review's been out for a couple of weeks now.
Yep.
And every single review I've checked, just to make sure we cover the important points, has done nothing but talk about Zelda. And granted, it's a Zelda-like game, but they've said very little about the game itself. So I also want to know what your experience was with this game.
Yeah.
And you are struggling so hard over there. The beads of sweat, if you could see it on the
I
camera.
refuse to say the word because you gave me a challenge. So
you're doing pretty well, by the way.
Yeah. There's puzzle elements. Each of the dungeons, they're very linear in design. So that's one of the things I didn't care too much for, is that it's, you go from one room to another room to another room. You're never really backtracking. You're never really being presented with puzzles that are sort of, you have to take the space of multiple rooms into consideration to solve a puzzle. It's really just this one room has this one very simple or just one isolated puzzle.
It sounds like with that said, it sounds like they tried to make it kid friendly, not too complicated for a child to play, but simultaneously they just made it super hard.
They did through the combat and the lack of sort of polish within the combat. And it's not so much the combat of your character and how your character controls, it's more of the enemies and just their lack of polish.
All right. So end of the day, all that said, would you recommend this?
I would, because there aren't many games that do this.
Good.
And it does it, and it does it really well, other than the issues that I pointed out. And it's fairly cheap too. So
what are we talking price tag?
So let me just quickly look that up, because I was provided a review copy.
Well prepared. All right, we're talking about we're talking about Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King for Nintendo Switch and for PC.
And for PC on Steam, it's $15.
Not bad.
So $14.99.
Right.
And it's actually you're going to get your run of the money for this, and if you like these styles of game, you're really going to enjoy it. For kids, they need to play something else before jumping into this one, just because the difficulty is too high for kids.
Prep. All right. See what he said. Your kids are wusses. Man them up. All right. Now, kidding.
But right, father.
All right. Now, Johnny, I want to thank you for the review. I'm going to give you a high five at the Eiffel Tower, Adam. Adam, looking bewildered, I'm passing it to you, my brother, to talk about the end.